Well, I did my first review in a while
Oh, really?
on my brand new Dave Mays gear review channel.
Nice. What's it called again?
Dave Mays Reviews.
Nice. Very, very catchy title.
Yes, so I got the new DJI Action 3. They actually sent it to me. I'm good friends with one of the guys from DJI, and they sent it over, and I got to play with it. And
Nice.
Malachi and I shot a little review. You were going to help us that day before, but then we found a cat on the side of the road. Remember that?
I kind of forgot, honestly.
I know.
I kind of forgot. Yeah.
It was a week ago. It was last Friday.
Yeah.
But Connor and Malachi were kind enough to help me film.
Well, I did nothing. I didn't help you.
Well, you were planning on it.
I was planning on it. It's the thought that counts, really, if you think about it. Yeah, we're gearing up and getting ready to go. I think it was like, oh, should I bring this or that? And then the old Malachi walks downstairs and goes, "There's a cat." I think that was a direct quote. And sure enough, we walk out, we look out the window, and there's a cat kind of making this face. You can't see it if you're listening, but trust me, it's a hilarious face.
YouTube.com/GHpod.
Yeah, and it was just sitting under Malachi's motorcycle.
Yeah. We'll play some photos as we're talking about it. But it was a sad sight to behold. And by no means am I like a animal obsessor, to put a term not lightly. I mean, I respect people who love animals, but I'm not an animal person.
Right. I am an animal person, but I'm allergic to cats. But that being said, the cat looked like it
needed some help.
Yeah, it may be hit by a car. It was on the side of the street. We're not really sure, but it had a cut on its leg and wasn't really moving too much. Cute cat. Nice cat. Gave it some water. And we ended up taking it to an emergency vet clinic.
Yeah.
And we dropped it off and they took it and that was it.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange.
He's either hopefully living with a new family or he's been
there. He's still there. Somewhere.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a humane society.
Yeah, it seemed like a nice place.
So they were really kind. And we were being so delicate because we thought maybe he broke his hind legs.
Or I was worried he might have broken some spinal or anything of the sort. So it was like, hey, let's not move him. And then
the lady who was working there just like scooped him up and just grabbed, thank you. And just walked in.
We're like, oh,
okay. Well, and then my children were involved in this whole process too. My 2-year-old and my 4-year-old. So they were very invested in this. And then the fact that this lady just kind of grabbed the cat and just walked away. Yeah. It was like, it didn't feel like a proper goodbye.
No. Yeah. It was quite the escapade.
We all kind of became quite attached to this random cat. Yeah. And then we all kind of were like, oh, I guess that's it.
So anyways, you shot a review with the DJI Osmo Action 3.
Yeah, it's cool. The original Action I really liked, the DJI Action, because it was the first camera that had that little front-facing screen. Yeah. And they've added some new features with this one. Now you can touch the front-facing screen. It's a touch screen.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I actually know nothing about it.
Check out the boot up sounds. Listen to this. Wasn't that? There it is.
Oh, it's like a Windows.
Yeah, sound. It's a nice little sound. Then here's the record sound. Yeah, okay, not the best.
I didn't like that one.
That's kind of cute.
Like, kind of Game Boy.
And then turning it off.
That's Windows again.
Yeah, and to compare, and by the way, spoiler alert, I have the new GoPro 11. Listen to how the GoPro turns on. Oh,
classic.
So boring. This is what happens when you hit record.
It's a calculator.
This is stop.
It's the same sound.
It does that like deet, 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 to tell you that it's been like captured, and then this is me turning it off.
Is that like kind of camera ASMR a little bit? Did we just tap into that?
So yeah, I mean to me the Action is just way more pleasant.
A little more personality on the
way more
Action.
personality.
So what does the Action do?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it is just kind of a GoPro type product.
Right.
So it's not going to look like a nice camera.
Sure.
It looks like an action camera. But the stabilization is really good on it. A lot of cameras these days are also giving us more than just 16:9 video, which I love. In the cinema world, that's called open gate. So we're getting that on here with a 4:3 aspect ratio, which gives us a little bit more room on top to crop if we're going to go vertical.
Right.
And you want to just shoot horizontally, but then crop it later. But what's great about this is it does also auto rotate to 90 degrees for vertical shooting. The UI rotates with it. The footage comes in, as 90 degrees.
Nice.
Same for the selfie screen.
Yeah, we've had this technology in cameras for photos forever.
I know.
And now it's finally making its way to video. I mean, other stuff has done this before, but it's nice to see it here.
Yeah, and the stabilization, of course, is great. It's got horizon leveling, rock steady. Horizon leveling is a really amazing feature that basically takes if I'm rotating the camera left and right,
that's kind of weird.
It pretty much keeps it locked all the way up to about 90 degrees. And then once I do a full 90-degree rotation, then it clicks into the next step of that.
Okay.
Again, if I'm going to compare it to the 11, which is not what the video was that I made because I got the 11 yesterday, but the 11 actually has horizon leveling 360 degrees. So you can just do like a full flip and it's just keeping the horizon.
So how much is it having to crop to do that? I'd imagine it's somewhat significant.
It is.
2x?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's just the standard wide. So it's not the super wide, but it's the what is it?
Linear?
Linear. So
Nice.
check it out. So this is linear mode. Well, if I hit record and I start flipping it, it just doesn't change. It just stays.
Whoa.
It keeps the horizon. So I'm using the GoPro right now, everyone who's listening, and I'm flipping it around and it's keeping the horizon level, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But back to the Osmo, I do really like this. And the biggest benefit, in my opinion, to this over the GoPro is it is a much wider field of view. It's a very super wide lens. So if that's something that you're going for, I'd recommend it. That also means because of the horizon leveling, it is having to crop and post.
Mm-hmm.
So with the crop on this, it's still a wider shot than this when it's cropped in with the horizon leveling on the GoPro.
Right.
Okay. That's cool. I also do like the colors on this quite a bit. I think it looks really nice. And they have a nice little quick release and mounting system. They've got a great new battery case for it. And like I said, the touchscreen on the front and the back. But the biggest reason that you may consider the DJI over the GoPro is it's cheaper. It's $329. And the GoPro is $499, which is
very big.
It's a very big difference.
Were they $500 before? I feel like they were. Did they get up that much before?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I feel like they tapped out at $399 in the past.
Yeah,
that feels correct, but I'm probably wrong.
I believe just with inflation and with the technology coming on, all these. First off, I'm gonna just make sure that I'm correct in my pricing. Yeah, $329 for the Action 3. And then the GoPro 11 is $399, but that's with their little fake discount, I believe. Yeah, so
oh wow.
If I turn off they want you to subscribe to their 1-year GoPro subscription. So save $150 if you sign up for our subscription, but you have to subscribe to this silly little thing, and then it kind of locks you into that.
Interesting.
So you can save money by doing that, but then you're gonna have to remember to turn that off after a year. So if you just want to buy it outright, which is what I did, it's $499. So
wow.
Anyways,
they're getting pricier.
Yeah, and I mean, while I'm on the topic of the DJI, I'll just say, or the GoPro, I will say. I kind of prefer the image on this one. It's a little sharper on the GoPro.
Interesting.
It does 10-bit, and their version of the open gate, which they're calling full frame, is much better. Look at that.
They're calling it full frame.
Yeah, 8x7. So you really get a lot of vertical space and horizontal space on just this one shot. So I really do like that. But if you're wanting to get one of these, $500 is pretty steep for just one of these little cameras.
Yeah.
So the only people that are going to be buying this are people who, are actual pros, or at least people who are professional athletes, or
yeah, you're doing something somewhat significant to own that, because honestly, with your iPhone, you can do 90% of what that can do.
Might even look better.
And it probably does look better.
These are just use case, going underwater, being crazy action, mounting it on your helmet,
right?
All that type of stuff. The Osmo also can dive deeper than the 11. So if you're a diver, this is better for water resistance. But yeah, it's a great little camera. Check out Dave May's reviews. I could go into details on why I have 2 channels later, but yeah, that's what I'm doing moving forward. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that at the intro here.
Right on. Nice little mini review.
Yeah. Wait. No. There we go. Oh, nice. That's what I was looking for.
You got to learn your soundboard, man.
I know. It's just colors. It's hard to know what those colors signify.
Right.
So we'll go into follow-up here for our last show. And by the way, thank you so much for everybody who commented and watched / listened to the last show that we did about should we switch to Sony?
Yep. Which, by the way, I'm Sony branded now with this hoodie. So did I switch to Sony? No, I'm just wearing their hoodie. It's actually a nice hoodie. Thanks, Sony.
Yeah, I think the main takeaways from that show still remain true. It's like it is the sensible choice to switch, but we haven't made the leap yet.
Yep. Not making sensible choices, obviously, because I still edit on Premiere, which I think was my joke last time.
Yeah. So we did have some follow-up here from a user titled, what is that?
I'm going to say it is OSS Me, although that's not about Sony. If you go down to the other one, it's I'm gonna butcher this name, and I'm really sorry, but is it, I believe, Fabi Puello. That's what I'm going to go with. That's how I read it. It says hashtag hot take. The A7S, or rather not 7S4. Whoops. The A7 IV is better than the A7S III. Caveat: the 7 III shoots RAW and has better rolling shutter.
Yeah, I mean, I love how you just did the same mistake you made with your Instagram post.
Yeah, I did.
A7S4. Wait, what? Is this a new?
Yeah, on the Sony trip, I kept calling it, I was renting the A7 IV, and I kept calling it, and in writing in my Instagram post, the A7S IV, and people were messaging me, asking me if I was posting about an unreleased camera.
Yeah.
No, I'm just dumb.
But I agree with this guy. I believe that the A7 IV is just a better hybrid, obviously. I mean, I think Sony would even admit that.
I don't think Sony would admit that, but I would say that I agree that it is. It feels like a better all-arounder. It's cheaper. The FX3 kind of made the A7S III weird. It's more or less the same camera, just without an EVF. And the 7 IV has more megapixels, at 33 megapixels, and it has like focus breathing compensation. And just some other things. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it, so I agree with you, Bobby.
Yeah, the EVF, I think a lot of people don't realize the EVF on the 4 is technically worse than the A7S III, but it's still a really good EVF. I think it looks fine.
Yeah, it looked great when I was using it. I had no issues.
So the only issues would be the 4K crop in 60 or the potential overheating issues that some people have dealt with, but I think those are not as much of an issue anymore. So
yeah. And then we had another follow-up from OSS Me that says, I believe the R5 firmware 1.6 has made the R5C kind of redundant for many.
Yeah, can you tell us about this new firmware?
Yeah, we might have talked about it a little bit already, but basically it gets rid of overheating in the R5, which was obviously the biggest issue with that camera, as we all know. Everyone talked about it for a long time on YouTube. And now it's not an issue, and I can shoot 4K HQ on the R5, no issues. And that's kind of what the R5C was supposed to do, because it has a fan built into it, but now you don't need the fan. Technically, it's kind of...
You get better autofocus on the R5.
Better autofocus on the R5. You lose out on the menus, the cinema menus.
And then the continuous recording.
That's true. So if you need those things, I mean, the R5C obviously still has its place, but he did say he specified for many. So there's a lot of people that were maybe wanting the R5, but didn't want it because of the overheating, got the R5C. Now the R5's looking real nice.
Yeah, especially for the price point.
Exactly.
Because you can get those used now for a pretty good deal, which you did with yours.
Yeah,
It was expensive.
No, I paid pretty much almost full price for a used one. So maybe not.
So we bought stuff.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of things came out in between the last episode and this episode. In fact, when we recorded the last episode, the Apple event hadn't happened yet. But by the time the episode actually went live, the event, I think, already existed.
Yeah, I think it had happened at that point.
So yeah, I bought a few things. Well, I bought two things, and then you bought one thing.
No, I bought two.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you buy? What was the second thing?
A case.
Two things. Right. You got the new 14 Pro.
Yep. And so this is the first year I'm going down to the Pro, not the Max. I've been using the Max for a couple years.
Yeah.
I've always been a big phone guy ever since the big phones came out.
You're a brave man.
You do get used to it, and I think a lot of people can attest to it. Comment in the YouTube video if you agree, or shoot me a tweet. But yeah, I have gotten used to it. That being said, I have started to develop a little bit, I think, a healthier just use of my phone ever since I started using the light phone, which can be a whole nother show topic later. But
yeah, we'll get into that later.
I just realized that I was just too addicted to social media. And so I actually deleted a lot of the social media stuff on my phone. Now I simply have just these three homes. These are all the apps I have. Mm-hmm. This is it. I'm swiping three, home screens basically. I've just kept it down to the bare minimum, bank apps, podcast apps, password, like LastPass,
Starbucks, only the essentials,
Amazon. Because going down to a dumb phone like the light phone is just too ridiculous for the world we live in.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, the light phone, for anyone who doesn't know, is essentially if Kindle made a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's what it looks like. And it looks about the size of the iPhone 4.
It has like no apps, basically.
Yeah. And it's called the dumb phone. And it is dumb.
It really forces you to, it literally, has nothing else on it other than text, calls. You can load in podcasts, but it's just not a good experience, but it's intentional. It's designed to kind of slap you in the face a little bit and be like, stop using your phone.
Yeah. So anyways, on the flip side, you got an iPhone 14 Pro. Yeah.
So that being said, yeah, I kind of want to go down to a smaller phone because I'm not using my phone as much as I used to. Mm-hmm. And the reason I had the big one for so long was because of the battery life and the massive screen, so I could watch YouTube and Netflix.
Yeah, you wanted a pocket iPad.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And but now the battery life has gotten so good, even on the smaller phones, because the processors have gotten so good. And I'm not using my phone to watch movies on it anymore. So I'm like, I'll just save some space, get the smaller one.
Nice, right on.
And I still want to have a good iPhone for taking pictures of the kids, and I think it'll be good content for the channel, obviously.
Oh yeah. So lots of content. Did you get the purple one?
I got the black one.
Okay, me too. I have the.
It's a new black. It's a nice black.
Yeah, it looks good. The purple looks all right, but I think that's just kind of it. It looks all right.
Yeah. I actually saw it today at the Apple Store. I went to the Apple Store.
Oh, you saw the purple?
Yeah, it's very light purple. It's like
it's like a plum.
Yeah, and you can barely even tell that it is purple, to be honest, under certain lighting. So it feels like they didn't really go for it.
I feel like you can almost say the same thing about the Pacific blue, but for some reason that works way better. I don't know if purple versus blue, very similar colors, but also very
Why didn't
different.
They just keep this blue?
It's by far this blue. By the way, we both have the 12 Pro with the Pacific blue.
No, is this Pacific blue or is this the original?
That's the Pacific one. Yeah.
What's the one that came out last year?
I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely the best color Apple has ever made.
It's the 12 blue, basically. It's a darker blue.
Right.
I've heard a lot of people say that the 13's green, because there was a green, like a forest green last year.
Was there? The 11 had a forest green. I just kind of ignored the 13. I don't know. The 13 came out and I just didn't care.
Yeah, and I think a 2-year cycle is pretty realistic for normal people. Maybe even not normal people, honestly. That's still tech people.
Yeah. My dad would argue. He'd be like, no, 5-10 years max.
It's crazy. I mean, they just updated.
They did, yeah. They were on the 10s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They were coming from a 10 to that'll be a huge jump.
That'll be a big jump.
But yeah, I think the biggest feature of the 14 Pro, and if you haven't looked at the keynote or heard any of the news, the better screen,
better refresh rate, right?
Better. Well, they did that last year, but it is still like a brighter screen, more color accurate screen. They have the little dynamic island that they're calling the notch now.
Such a pretentious Apple name. But I do like it. I like the dynamic island.
It looks really cool.
I haven't used it, but it looks great.
It's a clever use of that space, and basically they're using UI to fill in the black holes that the camera and the Face ID sensor have. So
yeah, it's a good use of a bad feature.
Basically. Yeah, and I'm sure as soon as it goes away, they'll maybe just rethink things. I mean, maybe the dynamic island will still appear when it's needed and then just go away.
Yeah.
But the biggest feature for me, honestly, are some of the safety features that they've now built in. There's a pressure sensor that detects when an airbag goes off in your car, that like basically the pressurized, the airbag going off creates a ton of pressure in the car. So it senses that. It senses the sound, the accelerometers and all that, and immediately calls 911, alerts your emergency contact. So I love that as a dad and as a parent. Like I would love my wife to have one as well for that reason. I mean, it literally could save somebody's life.
Yeah, I think it's a great safety feature. The watches are getting it as well, which is awesome because I feel like that's going to be it's attached to a wrist, so it's even more likely to be with you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're in a car accident, so potential life-saving feature.
It also has satellite phone.
I was going to say, it has the satellite feature, which they even said it's like it could take 10, 15 minutes sometimes to send a text message, but even still, that's better than not being able to send anything and you're lost in the middle of the woods or you got a flat tire in the middle of Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically they're working with satellite companies to have satellite phone on the phone, but there's only a list of certain messages that you can send. So that way, you can't just like check Instagram while you're on a mountain. But
I'm sure someone will figure that out.
Probably.
Yeah.
But and then the cameras seem better, I guess. I mean,
the 48 megapixels.
I wasn't super impressed with the video exampple for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like they chose weird options. It almost felt like Apple executives like shot some stuff on it, and they're like, "Oh, this is so dope. We got to use this in the video." And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll find a way to put it in there, man."
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's amazing, but it didn't seem much different than previous iPhones. I mean. So
I like the new, like you get the 1, 2, and 3 times zoom now because it is the crop in on the sensor. So I mean that's pretty nice. And then the hyper smooth, that looks what's it called? It's not hyper smooth. They called it something else.
It's like action. It's basically
action mode.
It's a similar stabilization that the GoPro is doing.
Yeah,
using the accelerometer data with digital stabilization.
Right. So I mean another reason to not use a GoPro.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can go underwater. You can use it as scuba diving. No, GoPros obviously still have their place, but they're for more extreme stuff now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro, it looks like another iPhone, honestly, to be honest, but I'm excited to get it.
Yeah, we both are sort of in the market to upgrade. I probably could have gone another year and been fine, but I was ready to downgrade to a smaller phone. So I'm looking forward to that.
No, I got another thing. I got the Apple Watch Ultra.
Yes, tell me about that.
Well, I don't have it yet, so it's coming in.
When's that coming in?
I think mine's not coming in for a minute still. I think like the first week of October or something. So I got a little bit of a wait, but I don't know what it was. That trailer, man, that might have been the coolest trailer Apple's ever made. I was like, I need that as a guy who sits in an office most of my life. I need that. And so I bought it.
Yeah, if you're not watching the video, we'll play it here, but on the YouTube channel. But it's just black and white with just the pop of color on the watch. Brilliant. The voiceover was great. I think the guy who did the voiceover is a famous guy.
He was talking like in a way that no human has ever talked, but I was totally okay with it. It's very breathy, like the Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah, it was great.
But it was awesome. And it's like it has a dive computer built in, goes down to I think 100 meters. Did I think I heard that? has like a waypoint system, which essentially looks like a video game mini map if you get lost in the woods, does the satellite thing, has to crash detection, titanium. Maybe kill the audio.
Well, let's see if we get it.
We put as many of those tools on your wrist as we could.
It's not super breathy, but
A little bit.
Was the new Apple Watch Ultra.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not as breathy as I thought.
Yeah, Apple always turns the comments off on their videos.
Huh, I don't think I ever noticed that.
They don't want people causing a scene.
Yeah.
They don't want a bunch of Android trolls. But yeah, it looks amazing. What color band did you get?
Green.
Nice.
I like green. Big green fan. I almost got the orange, but because it matches like the watch face, but I'm assuming you can customize it. Maybe not. It's Apple.
Yeah.
But the button's orange too, and that's permanent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's fine. I like green, so I got the green band.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's basically a very expensive Apple Watch, but it is doing a lot of things with it. It's, super strong titanium. It's got an extra button now so you can track your waypoints. It's got SOS features if you get stranded.
Yeah, apparently it has a much better microphone now. So like if it's really windy wherever you are, you're much more audible, which is great.
36 hours of battery life. That's probably going to be the biggest upgrade that you'll notice.
Yeah, and I think they said 60 if you put it in low power mode.
Wow.
Which is crazy. That's a lot of battery in a little watch. Although it's actually kind of chunky.
I mean, you're used to having the 38 millimeter, right? Or the 40 mil.
Yeah, whatever the small one is. I got the small watch. So that'll definitely be...
This will be a big change.
Yeah, it'll be a big adjustment. But, it's like anything. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
I'll probably hate it, honestly. Like the first couple of weeks, I'll be like, what did I buy? It's humongous. And then after a couple of weeks, it'll be like I'm not even wearing anything.
That'd be cool. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see. So I guess I got to go ice climbing, make use of it.
And then you did get an iPhone as well, right?
Yeah, I also got the black one. Yeah. 14 Pro black. No, it'd be cool.
Yeah. Have you gotten into MagSafe or anything like that with your phones?
No, not really. It's a little slower to charge it, and I have like the fast charge brick thing that Apple has, and I don't know. I just haven't had a use for it yet.
I've been using the Mag. Well, you have the one in your car.
Yeah, that's true. I do have the one in my car, but that's about it.
I've been pretty much exclusively charging over MagSafe over the last about year or so, and it's been a nice change.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to fumble with the cable in the middle of the night or whatever.
Sure.
It's nice. So,
have you ever messed with, or are you getting the new AirPods?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I already have, my AirPods are still fine. I have the AirPods Pro. So this would be the right AirPods for me to get, but there's nothing wrong with mine. So
yeah, I thought that the Pro 2s kind of looked exactly the same. I'm sure they sound better, whatever, but they look the same. Mm. I was hoping for black ones.
Yeah.
Or like something. Really? Anything?
Yeah,
else?
they're not doing it. It's just white.
Or like even colors. That'd be kind of interesting. Like a blue one and some orange ones. Just to make it more fun.
That's what Beats is for them. They make the Beats products, which are the same, but just different colors.
Right. I don't know. I just thought that the Pro, they were like, because it's Apple, they're hyping them up. It's like, this is the best audio design we've ever done. Like all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I like the same.
They do look the same.
Yeah.
And they do have the AirPods Pro or the Max or whatever.
The over ears.
Yeah, the over ears, and those are different colors.
Yeah,
so
they could have done something like that, honestly. Or
that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Although those are kind of funny. I don't know if I don't think I'd ever buy those. I've seen some people rock them. They look cool, but like they're huge.
As you're wearing.
Well, these aren't mine.
Massive.
Headphones. These aren't mine. I
you look like that guy from Star Wars, the bald guy with the headset,
the headband, or the Princess Leia with the Cinnabons, cinnamon buns on the side of her head.
Totally. I like those though because they're really comfortable.
Yeah, they go way over my ear. Yeah, no issue there. No issue there. I use the Sony XM4s and they're great, and I love that they pack down nice and small for travel because I'm always on an airplane these days.
Yeah, those are great.
The XM5s don't don't collapse.
That's weird.
Which they released a while ago now. This is old news, but I couldn't believe. I was like, that's a strange.
That was the nicest feature about it.
Yeah, I love that they collapse down. So I was like, well, I guess I'm keeping these.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them.
No.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing else announced. I'm very content with my Apple setup, honestly. I don't really wear my Apple Watch every day, so I'm not a super Apple Watch fan necessarily. I have a 6 and it's fine.
Yeah.
My brother got that for me. And then my computer situation is incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't be any more happy than with the M1 Max. It's been awesome.
You could be slightly happier.
Yeah, probably.
If
it was space gray.
Space gray.
I've gotten used to it.
Have you? It's just normal now?
Yeah, I don't think about it anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. But I have eyes for it now.
Yeah. I mean, no, the silver does look nice. But
the
space gray looks just a twinge nicer. But I put a giant sticker over mine, so
yeah.
I mean, I don't even see it anymore.
But like, Apple's probably going to have new MacBooks out.
Sure.
And new iPads and all this and that. And
do you think they'll do like a black one like they did with the Air?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be kind of cool. Although I heard it's a fingerprint magnet. So
yeah, that would be that would be cool if they did like a true all black MacBook Pro.
That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah, I would want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could not be happy. But yeah.
What is it about video production people and like just everything all black? It's just
it just looks good.
It does.
It looks good. Nothing stands out.
Mm-hmm.
We like hiding in the background usually because like as camera people, you have to wear all black. But yeah, we like all things to just be uniform, and black looks the best.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, hashtag askghp. If you haven't done it yet, do it. Go on Twitter.
Yeah. Ask us any questions.
askghp. Ask us anything. Ask us about our life. Ask us about gear.
Mm-hmm.
Ask us about YouTube.
Sure.
Anything you want.
I mean, if that's too broad for you and you're like, anything? Like, I can't think of anything. I don't know. Ask us what camera we would use if we could only have one camera. There's your question.
There you go.
Ask me that. I gave you the question. I could ask it. I just hashtag AskGHP
there you go.
myself. But that's a freebie for someone. Someone will snag it, maybe.
That's a good question. Yeah. So yeah, hashtag AskGHP.
Right on.
So yeah, you went to Philadelphia.
I did.
Got yourself a Philly cheesesteak out there.
Yep, I sure did, from a hotel casino.
Really?
Maybe not the most authentic Philly cheese. I mean, it was fine. It tasted good.
Tell me about that trip.
Oh wow. Oh man. That was a long one. It was
only 3 days or 4 days.
It was 3 days, including travel, and it was just pretty intense. So the night before I flew out.
You went camping or?
Intense, yeah. I wish. The night before, did a wedding, shot a wedding. Not the whole thing, actually. I got let go a little early, so that was very nice. But
it was
still,
with the same guy, right?
With the same guy.
Jim?
Yeah, that guy. Man, I never met a man who works harder than that guy. But shot a wedding, and then the next morning got up at 5 to go to the airport, flew to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. It's like a 2-hour flight, not too long. Landed in kind of like, we didn't really settle in. We just put our bags in our room and then just kind of like met people and then started working, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then worked all the way up to about midnight that night, which we weren't supposed to work until midnight, but it just happened that like there's just more work that needed to be done, more work that led up, because we had to be completely set up for this massive car conference, essentially is what it was, by the next morning, because the next morning we had to be up at 5 a.m. because it started early. Whoever decided that, I don't know. Early morning, blah. So yeah, I woke up at whatever time you need to wake up to do that, and then we worked till about 8:30 doing like gimbal work and odds and end things, shooting like man on the street stuff. We did like breakout rooms on sticks. We're just tracking the guy walking. I had one guy.
Who's it for again? Or what was the conference? Like a car.
It was like
thing.
A car convention conference thing for like dealership people, like the new wave of dealerships, basically. So it was interesting enough, actually. But kind of cool. The two guys that were hosting it looked identical, which was hilarious. They had the snapback black hat, the same trim beard, like the same, both white guys, and they wore the hat the same way. They looked identical. It was kind of hilarious, dressed in the same clothes. It's kind of funny, but yeah. So we worked till about 8:30 that night from the 5 a.m, and then we got sent home early. Wow, 3 of us. Then 3 of us stayed because they shot the concert. But the catch was we go back to the hotel early, but then we have to be there now. Instead of waking up at 5, we have to be there at 5. Jeez. Because they shoot a 5 a.m. podcast that we needed to set up for and shoot.
Good Lord. So
we got up, did that. Then we recorded, main stage, breakout rooms, main stage again, packed up all our gear around 1:30 and then flew home.
So your time in Philly was great.
Yeah. The sights. I saw the sights. I got to see the baseball stadium because we did some man on the street stuff out there.
That's cool.
Got rained on. The Eagles won. Apparently, if the Eagles don't win, it's like a bad scene. So good thing they won. Apparently people get upset.
If we have any Philly listeners, let us know.
Yeah, and also tell me where I should have gotten a Philly cheesesteak. I was told... Instead of the hotel. I had no time. Someone was saying a place called Gino's, and then there was another place I can't remember. But I'd like to go back, honestly.
Yeah. Jared Polin, I think, lives in Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Fronosphoto.com.
Yeah.
I have yet to meet him. It seems like an awesome guy. But yeah, I would love to spend like a day there, maybe 2 days, and really sightsee and eat some food.
I'd like to get a true Philly cheesesteak. I'd like to see Independence Hall where they signed the Declaration of Independence and see the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
And high five a local and go.
So that's about 4 hours.
Yeah. I feel like, I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of places. There could be some really cool stuff to see. I just don't know enough about Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't either.
So it feels like I'm going to New York and I'll stop in Philly on the way and check it out kind of a place. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's dope.
That's where Rocky ran up the staircase, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so there's that. You could recreate that.
Or was that Jersey?
No, I think it's Philadelphia.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the Rocky movie.
Yeah, same. But yeah, thanks again for listening to the Golden Hour podcast. Make sure to ask us a question at #askghp.
Yeah. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this on YouTube, or if you are watching this on any of your favorite podcast apps. Be sure to rate the podcast 5 stars because, why wouldn't you?
Yes.
Or 4.5 stars. I also accept that number, but less so.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Cheers.